I have been studying how I may compare this prison where I live unto the world. And for because the world is populous, and here is not a creature but myself, I cannot do it. Yet I'll hammer it out. My brain, I'll prove the female to my soul the father, and these two beget a generation of still breeding thoughts. And these same thoughts people this little world in humours like the people of this world, for no thought is contented. The better sort, as thoughts of things divine are intermixed with scruples, and do set the word itself against the word, as thus. Come, little ones. And then again, it is as hard to come as for a camel to thread the postern of a small needle's eye. Thoughts tending to ambition, they do plot unlikely wonders. How these vain, weak nails may tear a passage through the flinty ribs of this hard world, my ragged prison walls. And for they cannot die in their own pride. Thoughts tending to content flatter themselves that they're not the first of fortune's slaves, nor shall not be the last. Like seely beggars who, sitting in the stocks, refuge their shame, that many have, and others must sit there. And in this thought they find a kind of ease, bearing their own misfortunes on the back of such as have before endured the like. Thus play I in one person many people, and none contented. Sometimes am I king. And treasons make me wish myself a beggar, and so I am. Then crushing penury persuades me I was better when a king. Then am I kinged again. By and by think that I am unkinged by Pontefract. Straight am nothing. But whate'er I be, nor I nor any man that but man is with nothing shall be pleased, till he be eased with being nothing. music do I? Keep time. How sweet music is when time is broken, no proportion kept. So is it in the music of men's lives. And here have I the daintiness of ear to check time broke in a disordered string. But for the concord of my state and time, and not an ear to hear my true time broke. I wasted time. And now doth time waste me. For now hath time made me his numbering clock. My thoughts are minutes, and with sighs they jar their watches on unto mine eyes, the outward watch, to my finger, like a dial's point is pointing still at cleansing them from tears. Now, sir, the sound that tells what hour it is are clamorous groans, which strike upon my heart, which is the bell. So sighs and tears and groans show minutes, times, and hours. But my time runs posting on in Bolingbroke's proud joy, while I stand fooling here, his jack of the clock. This music mads me! Let it sound no more! For though it have holp madmen to their wits, in me it seems it will make wise men mad. Blessing on his heart that gives it me. For 'tis a sign of love. And love to Richard is a strange brooch in this all-hating world.
Despair to bow black that moistened still shall weep, still shall weep. My music, hellish, hellish, jarring sounds, jarring sounds, to banish friendly sleep. Thus wedded to my woes, and wedded to my tomb. Let me living die. Oh, let me living die. Till death to come. Till death to come.